In the long and dramatic history of kings and empires, some rulers reigned for decades, their names carved into monuments, their legacies written across continents. Others ruled for years and vanished into the quiet pages of history. But one king's reign was so brief that it lasted only about 20 minutes. Yes, 20 minutes. This is the extraordinary true story of Louis Antoine of France, the man who became King Louis XIX and lost the crown almost as soon as he received it. To understand how such a thing could happen, we must journey back to a France trembling on the edge of revolution. The year was 1789. France was drowning in debt, its people hungry, its government unstable. The French Revolution erupted with fury. Crowds stormed the Bastille. Royal authority began to collapse, and the monarchy trembled. Louis Antoine was born in 1775. Into a world of privilege, silk, and ceremony, he was the eldest son of the future king Charles X. From birth, destiny placed a crown upon his future, but history had other plans. As revolution consumed France, the royal family faced danger. Nobles fled the country. Violence filled the streets of Paris. The old order began to crumble. Louis Antoine and his family were forced into exile. They wandered across Europe for years, living not as rulers, but as displaced royalty. Time passed, empires rose and fell. Napoleon Bonaparte rose to power and reshaped Europe through war. But in 1814, after Napoleon's defeat, the Bourbon monarchy was restored. Louis Antoine's father became King Charles X. For a moment, it seemed destiny had returned to its rightful path. The royal banner once again flew above France, yet beneath the surface, the nation was restless. The people remembered revolution. They feared absolute monarchy, and Charles X made a fatal mistake. In July of 1830, he issued the July Ordinances. These decrees restricted freedom of the press. They dissolved the elected parliament, and they tightened royal control. Paris erupted in fury. Barricades filled the streets. Gunfire echoed between stone buildings. Smoke rose into the summer sky. The July Revolution had begun. Within the royal residence at Saint-Cloud, tension was suffocating. Reports of rebellion arrived hourly. The monarchy stood on the brink, at last, facing overwhelming unrest. King Charles X made a grave decision. He would abdicate. On July 2, 1830, Charles X signed away his crown, and by law, by blood, the throne passed instantly to his eldest son, Louis Antoine. In that moment, without ceremony, without coronation, he became King Louis XIX of France. There were no trumpets, no cheering crowds, only silence, and the distant rumble of revolution. For a brief, fragile span of time, Louis XIX was king, but the crisis had not ended. Advisors whispered urgently. The political situation was collapsing. The revolutionaries would not accept him, and so faced with the inevitability of further bloodshed, Louis XIX made his decision. He would abdicate. Some accounts suggest his reign lasted approximately 20 minutes. 20 minutes, long enough to inherit a kingdom, but not long enough to rule it.